All right, rock and roll. We are now live on X and in Discord. Welcome, everyone. This is our weekly tech AMA with the man himself, Dr. K. He's been grinding real hard on Project Soap. So if you're hanging out with us here on X, just be advised we are simulcasted from Discord. I should be pinning a tweet shortly for everybody to hop into our Discord server and join the chat. You'll be able to ask Dr. K questions directly in there, and hang out with the community. You likely have some Quai waiting for you over at Kipper Money if you haven't gotten that yet. Sign into Kipper Money, get your Quai, hop into the Discord, join the Quai Nation, and hang out with us here with Dr. K. Let's see here. There's the tweet. All right, we'll get this pinned up on the spaces. Boom, boom, boom. I'm expecting a lot of questions about soap today. Alan just dropped a major article on that, so let me track that one down. But while I do that, we're rocking and rolling over here, Dr. K. How you doing? Anything you wanted to share to start us off? Oh man, we might have lost your audio. Yeah, connection issues. Dun dun dun.
I came up here to say really quick, I could hear him.
Oh, you can? Well, he just dropped. Looks like he's back now. Yeah. Quick mic check, Dr. K. Did we got you? Doesn't sound like it. Darn. Well, anywho, check out the pinned tweets up above, folks. If you're hanging out with us in Discord, feel free to drop your questions. We'll figure this out momentarily. There's usually one or two glitches along the way, at least once a week. Whoa, he might be back. Quick mic check, Dr. K.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear now. That works. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Appreciate you joining us, sir. I see some more folks tuning in here on X. So check the pinned tweets up above, guys. We are simulcasting from Discord. Expected a lot of questions from the community today pertaining to Project Soap. So if you're here looking for answers on that, check out Alan's latest article on Project Soap, also pinned up above. I'll get that dropped into the Discord chat as well. We got some new faces hanging out with us here in Discord. But to kick us off, how you doing, Dr. K? Anything you want to share with the community to get things rocking and rolling?
Yeah, so on SOAP, we had Ravencoin working, and we should have LTC and Bitcoin Cash working today in our little test environment. So, yeah, making progress. It looks like the latter half of this week we'll be testing and potentially looking at the testnet deployment.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Project Soap is what we're all focusing on right now. There's a lot of stuff happening in Quai Network, but this is probably one of the bigger ideas we've come up with recently, and super excited to hear that you're making progress on it. I know the community is super pumped about it. We had a meme competition recently. That was a lot of fun. A lot of Fight Club references, which is great. So I dropped a link to Alan's latest article. Part one, man, that's pretty in-depth article, I'll admit. Probably not a good intro. So I'll go dig up a better intro. But we got some new faces around here. So you might give us just a brief overview. It looks like we got a lot of questions to soak coming in, so that might help set some context.
Yeah, so basically, there's this concept of merge mining that exists. basically mine 2 coins at once. So you do that by kind of making a commitment from one chain into the other while you're mining that block. And what that allows you to do is effectively reuse the work in 2 different contexts. And so, this is something that Quai really already does. Already leveraging this. So we're basically allowing this to happen now with an outside chain. And name coins, circa like 2011, 2012. But what no one had done before is figured out you can sort of change the economics in a very favorable way. So all other examples of merge mining, they basically give the token out from both chains to the miners. What we figured out with SOAP is that we can change sort of where the value is accruing to one of the chains. And so the way that we do that is we allow Quai to be merge mined with another chain like Dogecoin or Ravencoin or Bitcoin Cash. And for the block to be valid, the payout from the second chain sort of has to go to like this foundation address. Then the miner gets paid in Quai, but they don't get the second token. But then the second token is then used to buy Quai at market, and is then used to either incentivize stakes Quai or locks Quai, or is burnt. It's kind of the summary of SOAP. So what that does is when you're proof of work mining, sort of every day, a lot of the miners will just sell all the tokens at market, which puts a lot of downward pressure on the token price, because for the token price to stay consistent, you need a commensurate buying every day of that amount. So, for example, with Bitcoin, it's at like 50 million a day is effectively getting sold at market. So for Bitcoin to grow, it has to have more than $50 million in net new buying coming in. And so, for Quai, maybe that's like 10 grand a day, but that's still 10 grand in negative pressure on price. So what this does is if there's $10,000 of new Quai issued, you're also getting Ravencoin or Dogecoin, which you're using to buy at market, thus offsetting any sells that come from the miners from the newly minted Quai. So instead of being sort of negative pressure every day, you net the mining expense to zero. And if some of the miners are potentially, holding on to their Quai, they're not selling all of it, then it actually creates positive growth every day. Wow. And with positive growth, in terms of price, you're going to get more hash rate, and with more hash rate, you'll get more buying, which will lead to more price growth, which will lead to more hash rate. So it creates a positive sort of feedback loop rather than a negative one.
Yep. That positive feedback loop, that virtuous cycle, that's definitely something we're all super excited for.
That's like the key point here.
Yeah.
So if you look at mining, mining is always negative. So it's negative feedback on growth and on price. So you need like the secondary factor. If it's marketing, adoption, like you need to get net new buying in excess of the mining rewards every day.
Yep.
So you're always fighting against that. Now, with this system, it means that in a proof of work setting, I'm changing sort of that coefficient of feedback from negative to positive. So that's very important because then what we're saying is that price causes hash rate to go up, which causes price to go up. So it's this virtuous circle of growth. And as you grow, it causes you to grow more. rather than having to have exogenous factors overtake the selling related to mining.
Rock on. Yeah, really appreciate that outline, Dr. K. I've seen a bunch of new faces, both in X and here in the Discord. So hopefully that provided you guys the context you needed. We got a bunch of technical questions from the community on Project Soap that we're looking forward to diving into. Again, guys, check the links in the chat if you want to know more, or if you're hanging out with us on X, check the pinned tweets up above. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, but join us here in Discord and hang out with the rest of the crew. It's already a good time. The chat is always tons of fun. But to dive into the questions here, Kishore, great ambassador here at Quai Networks, collected some questions from the community. Will the yield allocation mechanism be dynamic based on market activity or set as a fixed percentage by the foundation initially? So this is referencing one of the two things that we could do with the tokens that we buy from the subsidy chains.
Yeah, so the tokens that come from the subsidy chain, that like allocation split between yield and burn, will ultimately, at least initially, be kind of set by the foundation. So we can kind of feel out the market and see elasticity of capital. And what you're trying to do there is to maximize like incoming capital, but do so in like a cost efficient way. That makes sense. So if, there's like a high yield and capital isn't like coming in to get it, like the yield might go lower if that yield number isn't sustainable in the long term. But you can kind of think about like how that split is done as a form of like, I don't know, like open market operations.
Sure.
But the goal obviously being creating sustainable price growth.
Okay. I'm gonna like explain that to myself succinctly by saying, really, the goal is sustainable growth, and then the market really dictates the variation in burn versus yield.
Yeah, I mean the foundation is the one kind of be like making the choice on the split initially. Right. Maybe there's a way that we can like, put different mechanisms over that in the future. But yeah, for now, like it's sort of choosing the split to try to be most efficacious in growing the capital in the system.
Rock on. Great question, guys. Man, I had some experiences talking to some folks who are big in DeFi and yield, and they really go deep on this stuff, and they want all the details. So I know we're currently actively building, and we'll be sharing more and more about those details real soon. But that kind of lends into the next question here.
Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, right? Like we kind of have to make this choice initially. Mm-hmm. I think if there's good elasticity in capital, that the majority of the rewards would go to staked rewards,
right?
Initially, that kind of gets you like exponential inflow,
right?
But if you do that indefinitely, it's not sustainable,
right?
So you have to be a little bit careful, but certainly initially, I think there's going to be a heavy bias towards stake rewards.
Yeah. Okay. That helps. I also kind of explain it to myself in this way. Like if you're burning the tokens, you're creating it's a deflationary mechanism, but it's a slower impact on price action. If you offer yield, then the capital inflows could have a much faster impact on price action. Is that
right? But if you perpetually like keep pushing that number up, it may become unsustainable at some point.
right? Totally.
So you have to balance that, right? If you said all of it goes to yield, right? At some point, that might get you in trouble. Now, like not like catastrophic trouble, but like it'll get you in trouble where you have like very bad price action.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So you want to be a little bit careful. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Initially, certainly that's like not the problem, right? Initially, I think you probably want to do like 100% of the purchase quai going to staked rewards.
Right. Okay. Heck yeah, I think we nailed that. The next question kind of follows up on that. How frequently will the Quai Foundation reassess the reward allocation, real time, weekly, or per epoch? I think we'll be watching it constantly.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like new ground for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is like X protocol right now. We certainly will be watching it constantly. I imagine we'd like, try to look at it on maybe a weekly cadence. But I mean, obviously we could go shorter if we need to, but once a week is probably kind of like where you're trying to get to. But again, it's new ground for us, so we don't really know, to be perfectly frank. So we'll kind of have to learn how the market participants respond to certain things as we go, and then based off how quickly they respond, like that dictates how quickly we have to respond.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Totally. Rock and roll. Great questions, guys.
But like the idea here too is like we need time to collect data.
Yeah.
Right? So, my guess is, right, we'll probably have kind of like a fixed number that maybe is close to 100% of the rewards just going to staked rewards initially. And we'll maybe leave that for a couple weeks, just to see like how the capital responds. Now, if the capital doesn't respond like well, we might have to start lowering the reward. But if the capital responds appropriately, then, we can leave it and the APR will naturally adjust as more capital flows in.
Got it. Yeah. I have confidence we'll be looking at this constantly, collecting all the data we need, and doing this in the most transparent way possible. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that. Building.
Yeah. I mean, from that perspective, right? Like, our goal is to have a dashboard too. So,
right. That's literally the next question.
It'll basically like show, what's flowing into the staking contract and what's flowing into the burn interest. All of that's available on chain anyway. Yep. So like what you'll be able to see is kind of what's going out daily and then what's being put into the staking contract or burn daily. And so people can kind of see like how the balance of flow is going.
Cool. We got a few more questions here, and then Gabriel's requested to come up on stage and verbally ask his questions. So, Gabriel, hang in there one moment. We'll bring you up shortly. But the next question here, kind of building on everything. These are all like really like interconnected questions. So I love it. Can the system automatically adjust yield rates in response to large scale quai lock unlock events to stabilize price or incentives? I think the short answer is, a locking contract, yes, can adjust APR. But what were your thoughts on that one, Dr. K?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, ultimately, the split on the yield and the burning, right, is something that the foundation can decide on, and like it's aware of like when locks may impact them. So that would all obviously go into the decision making process.
Right. Okay, cool. Rock on. Let's see here. Is the yield sourced from protocol reserves, transaction fees, or another mechanism? It's sourced from SOAP. That's where it comes from. We know where the yield comes from.
It's sourced from selling the Raven coin or Litecoin or Dogecoin or
Right.
Bitcoin.
Bingo.
And buying Quai with it.
When you do DeFi on proof of work, folks, we actually know where the yield comes from. It's not a mystery. Love it. Great questions, guys. Okay, last, yeah, we'll do this one and then I'll bring Gabriel up. Will users have visibility into historical yield allocation changes and the rationale behind them, or only current rates? I think the short answer is they will absolutely have visibility into historic yield allocations and the changes. What are your thoughts there, Dr. K?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have like a dot plot or anything here, in terms of rationale, but certainly people will be able to see like what historic data has happened in terms of yield and rates.
Yeah, well, totally. And I'll just mention, we do a lot of building in public. We're always hanging out on X, writing articles. So, I don't think it's going to be a secret and not something that's difficult for people to find either. So that's just how I was thinking about that.
Yeah. So everyone's just see what happens. Is my point. I don't know, like, how beneficial the transparency is and the rationale behind the choices. Like in much the same way that Fed does things.
Right. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, you kind of have, like, because you have numbers and data like not everybody else has. So then, like, using that, you're gonna make decisions. Yeah, and like ultimately, when we have more time, like maybe there's a way we can algorithmically set that. But yeah, I mean, for now, like we don't know honestly, like enough to be able to even begin to think if it's algorithmically settable or not.
Right. And I imagine, like if it is, that would be the goal, wouldn't it? Especially if we can.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, there's also like a variation of this
Mm-hmm.
where you can completely remove like the foundation from the equation, but you need to have like high liquidity in the system because you could do effectively like second price auctions for the other tokens, like in the protocol. But you need like good liquidity to like set buyers correctly.
Right.
So like there's a way you could eventually do this where it all just like happens in protocol and there's no like outside protocol address.
Tracking. Rock on. I was just reading ahead. A lot of the same questions. So guys, check out the pinned content up here on X and the links I dropped in chat. We'll definitely be publishing more material on this. Team is in the trenches right now, writing a whole lot of code. So expect more information to come real soon. But we got Gabriel up on stage. How you doing, Gabriel?
I'm doing well. I like to ask my questions verbally because then if I like phrase them badly, I can just clarify.
No sweat.
That's like I had I have three questions. We can go like one at a time and like ask some of the written questions.
Yeah, let's just do it one at a time. Go ahead.
Okay, my first one is basic. Just why not Kaw earlier? Like I had actually done research like way back when, and I was like looking into ProgPow and I knew of Kawpow's existence, and I was wondering why didn't we do it earlier? 'Cause I think there's only like two parameters or something that are different. I was just wondering.
They're like the same algo. We just we're working in Ethereum kind of adjacent space. So probably was available in Golang.
Oh, okay.
There's literally like no difference between the algos. It's like the same algo with a slightly different parameter set.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, to answer the question is we work in Golang and ProgPow had been implemented in Golang and not Compile, and we didn't really consider merge mining, so we didn't do that. But they're the same algo and like everything but name.
Okay, got it.
Good question. Yeah, go ahead with your second one, Gabriel.
Oh, okay. This question I think might reflect some of my lack of understanding of SOAP, but I was wondering why, like, the first time that I read on that blog post that it'll be that the rewards will be either used to purchase Quai or to be burned, I was kind of like, if I'm a miner, why would I want any of my work being burned?
No, like the Quai is being burned. So like you'll get Bitcoin Cash, you sell the Bitcoin Cash and buy Quai. That Quai either goes to reward stakers or it's burned. That's it. So from the miner's perspective, the miner's still just getting Quai as the block reward. But because we're doing merge mining, the network address gets the second token. They get the Bitcoin Cash or the Dogecoin. And then that token is sold at market to buy Quai at market, which then either goes to reward staking or is burned.
Okay. So they're both receiving like Quai native just from their work share and getting that, and then the actual token that they earn on the origin chain that's like additional part of that is going to go towards staking, part of that's burned. Do they get any piece of that though? Like, do they get a piece of the stake or something?
No, I mean, the fact that it's going to go into staking or be burned benefits all Quai holders, right? So there's no reason to cycle it back.
Right. Will that automatically? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Will that automatically, like, intrinsically be, like, more, like, superior for them in terms of what they would get than just taking, like, a normal, like, BTC reward? Like, suppose that they're mining BTC?
If everything's efficient, it should be at parity, in equilibrium. Now, if people think that Quai has a better do over, even if your per kilowatt is earnings is equivalent.
I just it cut off for a moment. That was just if people think that it has superior like price action over time.
Future expected value.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Rock on.
Yeah, or it has better utility, right? Like either one of those things, incentives to do Quai over one of the other tokens.
Okay, cool. Can we fit in one more, or should we go to the other question?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Ask your last question, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, my last question for now is, what will the staking look like, and will it be like a variable APR, like you put it in and it's like really high, like especially when the market is starting out, will it be like just like crazy variable in terms of the people mining into it, and also how will you go about like purchasing the staking, whatever that will go for SOAP?
So there's a market maker, and the market maker will get the tokens and convert them at market, and then send them to the staking or an address. In terms of the staking contract, we haven't like fully fleshed out the mechanics, but we think right now it's going to look something like you have to lock for 30 days, and basically once you've locked in for 30 days, you start getting flowed the rewards that you would have earned on day one. That makes sense. So, and that reward is calculated based off of like what was put into the contract that day versus how much was staked, right? So let's say we get $10,000 in the first day of SOAP. that the quai that goes all into that contract, based off what gets locked in that contract, that 10,000 will get pro rata distributed on the 31st day.
Okay, so each day will be different, basically?
Yeah, so it depends on how much is locked versus how much is put in. Now, I guess, in terms of what we're thinking, for now is, we're going to put the majority of the SOAP, if not 100%, into the contract. So the achieved rate per day is going to be how much capital is locked versus how much is going to the contract. Versus like what the hash rate is. So if the price goes up, the hash rate goes up, the amount going into the contract will also go up.
Okay.
Right?
I think it will still take me a while to understand this, but it's really interesting. I don't know why it seems really simple, but I'm having like a mental block on it. But I'm gonna just keep reading all the blog posts and everything.
Well, okay. So let me, like, if you're having a problem, other people are having a problem. Let me see if I can explain it like that you were your mental block. So with merge mining, you get 2 tokens, right? With SOAP, one of those tokens goes back to the foundation instead of both tokens going to the miner. Okay. The token that goes back to the foundation is the other chain's token. We sell that token and then we use it to buy quiet market, which either gets burned or it goes into the stake. Rewards. Like, that's it. And then as a miner, a quai, you previously got a certain amount of quai per block. You'll get the same amount of quai per block. With SOAP, it's just there's this second token that's generated that's now used to buy, which should be roughly economically to buy quai, and roughly the same amount per day as the quai that's emitted. So then the net emissions of quai goes to 0. Because every day the Raven coin is sold, used to purchase quai, which should be roughly equivalent to the total quai that was emitted that day. So there's no net new emissions per day.
Does that help, Gabriel?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I just lost. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course, man.
Okay, so like, for example, right now, like 150,000 quai per day is emitted. That will still happen, but once you're mining Raven coin and you're selling your Raven coin to buy back quai, you should be buying back about 150,000 quai per day. And that either gets burned or that goes to stake rewards.
Okay, would it be like accurate to say that basically the overarching what this is more than anything else is just stealing like the hash power of like all the other proof of work blockchains?
I wouldn't say it's stealing because we're still securing their network and we're doing it cooperatively. So I would say it's reusing their underutilized hash. So if they were fully exploiting what is possible with their hash rate in terms of utility, in terms of programmability, in terms of speed of settlement, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Oh.
It's the fact that they have underutilized hash that enables them. So there's this characteristic of the system with SOAP. If you want to SOAP another chain, it has to be like 5 to 10 times slower than your chain. And there's a lower limit on how fast you can make a chain. So what this means is, as long as you're approaching the lower limit on how fast you can make a chain, you can't get soaked. And then what it's also saying is, in terms of their speed to consensus, as well as their utility, is their hash rate is underutilized. Because they could be going faster, and they could be offering more utility. And so what we're saying is, we're going to utilized their underutilized hash. And if they had fully utilized their hash, there'd be no opening for us to do this.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think there's gonna be like soap wars where they're gonna like fork our code and like fork their entire like chain over to Go Quai, like so that they're not getting like eaten by us?
Yeah, for the chains that we're talking about, the ones that have like existing high emissions and market caps, I don't think that the communities are positioned to try to compete. Now, if they were to do it, they couldn't do it to us. They'd be able to do it to the other set of people, but they wouldn't be able to do it to Quai because Quai's too fast. So basically, like, the reason that we can do this is because in our network, we can kind of get consensus, and we can turn a block around in, say, under 4 seconds, which is roughly equivalent to the delays that you see in centralized mining pools. But if you tried to do that to us, like, you would need to be turning your work shares around in like under a second, which like you can't do in a decentralized system.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't turn your work shares over very quickly, you don't make money off of them. So like your ability to like efficiently mine the second chain has to do with the ratio of time between the chain that is soaping and the chain that is getting soaked.
Okay.
Making proof of work competitive again.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate the questions. Always happy to have you up on these spaces. Oh man. Okay. Guys, these are amazing questions.
So what they could do,
Yeah.
to be fair, the chains like decided in the community they didn't like it, and they could like get their networks to operate at 5-second block times. That would stop us from doing it.
Right.
So, like, if your Bitcoin Cash went from 10 minutes to 5 seconds, then like this wouldn't happen anymore. We wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. Well, and I just imagine that's forcing some of these networks to get off their laurels and make their hash rate useful again.
And if they don't, it allows the baton to be passed on to the chains that do.
Right. Bingo.
Rather than having this like stagnated monopoly that's defended by hash rate and invested capital.
Love it. Alan, what's up, man?
Yeah, I'm working on some educational materials here. I just dropped the Venn diagram in the general chat. I'd be interested to see what people thought of it.
Oh, snaps. Let me try to link to that in this chat here.
Just dropped it in the chat.
Nice. Oh, thank you. Rock on. Do you see that, Dr. K? Digital, private. 3 circles, digital, private. I'm going to narrate a little bit for the folks hanging out with us here on X. We got 3 circles, digital, private, and unit of account. On the digital side, by itself is Bitcoin. On the private side, by itself, looks like gold. Sitting in the middle between those two, you got Monero and Zcash and Quai Network. Between digital and unit of account.
It's not a bad Venn diagram. That's what you're getting at.
Rock on. Let's get that out on Twitter so I can pin it here in the space. I think it makes a lot of sense. That's killer, actually. I really like that.
There's actually what I would say. Okay, so like the only thing that throws this off is the gold reference because that's invoking store of value, but that's not one of your circles here.
Mm-hmm.
So like you should put a privacy indicator rather than gold, else like you're invoking store value. And then, yeah, that would be like the statement, I think.
Nice. Nice. Heck yeah. No, I like that. Rock on. Yeah, feel free to ping me once the tweet's up. We'll get that pin to the space. Guys, if you're hanging out with us on X, we do this every Wednesday, same time, but we're simulcasting from Discord, and the chat is absolutely fire right now. So go ahead and hop into the Discord server, ask your questions. Otherwise, I'll take a look at the comments here in a minute. We had some more questions trickle in. So if we don't have any other comments, I'll go ahead and move on. There was one I really wanted to ask, and that was about just like transparency in the subsidy rewards. How will SOAP data, donor inflows, be surfaced via an on-chain dashboard or a subgraph API?
It's all on chain. So like once like the payments that like happen to the other chain is on chain, the payments that end up going to the contracts are on chain. Like everyone will balance the flows and like will ultimately get a dashboard up so you can see it.
Boom. Cool. Rock and roll. All right. Another question that you've opined on a little bit in the past, Dr. K. Can SOAP evolve to support proof of useful work or proof of ZK donors instead of pure proof of work ones?
Yeah, okay. So useful work just means that you're utilizing proof of work. So Bitcoin actually and Satoshi figured out what useful proof of work was.
Verifying
In the
transactions.
design of Bitcoin. The problem is they never scaled to realize the useful part. But doing a global settlement layer that functions as P2P cash is incredibly fucking useful.
Right.
You just have to have enough transactions and the right characteristics of that to enable it to be that. And then if you do, and you charge a penny a transaction, at 50,000 transactions, you're making like $12 million a day. So that is incredibly useful, and that pays for the work.
There you go.
Now, additionally, if there are other systems that can be figured out that, create more revenue for the same hash, and so long as it's cryptographically immutable, I mean, obviously that would be interesting to us. But my point is, if you scale your transaction throughput with the right properties, you don't have to create secondary markets to try to justify the work.
Right. No, good points. You have mentioned in the past, though, chatting with one of our other friends, Steph, expanding this to other use cases.
I've mentioned it. So, like, if there's a way that you can convert PAL into, some form of AI training or inference, that would be great. But right now, I don't see a practical line on how you do that. Now, we might be able to figure it out, and we'll think about it and we'll try to figure it out. But there's no guarantees that we will. But my point is, the usefulness just comes from doing the purpose of the system, which is settling transactions.
Yep.
So as long as you settle them at scale, like, it's useful.
Super useful. Yeah. Good call out. I still have conversations every now and then with folks from the Ethereum community concerned about the power consumption. And I think,
Dude, the Ethereum community is coming around on proof of work.
Yeah.
And they're like trying to do it in a way that doesn't sound like they're reversing chorus and going back to proof of work.
Right.
100%.
Yep.
Right. So, Georgios, the guy that does the ref client.
Yep.
You should go back. Like, over the summer, he's been talking about how proof of work is a faster settlement system or faster consensus mechanism than proof of stake, and that they should be doing proof of work for consensus based off of creating ZK proofs for rollups. He's literally saying that Ethereum should be a proof for a chain. But his argument around using ZK is ridiculous. Because the amount of effort that it takes to do ZK versus what can be done in Node and the expense of doing it in Node, it's still wildly more expensive to do the ZK.
Right.
So like you shouldn't do it. So he's like trying to rationalize going back to proof of work under some guise of scalability by doing this really expensive cryptographic operation to effectively save the nodes like 100 milliseconds processing time. But if you actually go to like balance out the cost benefit here, it's like not even close.
Right.
So it's like a cope mechanism to justify Ethereum going back to proof of work.
Maybe he's just throwing that ZK buzzword in there. Either get attention or to not get roasted.
Yeah,
or he's
seriously, they're legitimately realizing that there is an economic cost to ZK, and the economic cost to compute and aggregate ZK can be amortized by economics of securing the network. So it's not
right. But the point is that what they're really realizing is that proof of work is a better consensus mechanism. But they can't reverse course, so they're like wrapping it in this ZK problem they have. But the ZK problem is like so inconsequential relative to what you can do with just an optimized VM. It's like not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. My point initially was, going back to useful proof of work, right? Like when it actually scales, it's far more efficient. Far more efficient.
I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah.
So like once you understand, you can create incentive compatible deterministic proof like fork choice rule. It becomes immediately obvious that proof of work is a better, faster consensus mechanism.
Boom. Boom.
And the reason for that is because of the rounds.
Right.
Proof of stake takes many rounds, meaning back and forth between many participants.
Across
proof of work is broadcast only. The event happens, and as it gets to the recipients of the network, they will always agree with all other recipients. They don't have to talk about it back and forth. So it's not even a full round of communication.
Right.
It's a broadcast only communication. And then we know if they get it, they agree. So we don't have to talk about it after the fact.
Right. And the key innovation there is POEM, which makes it deterministic. So practically eliminating block contention.
Deterministic and incentive compatible.
Going back to this Venn diagram here, I'm trying to think of something better than gold. I honestly think gold is like pretty good, but I think
no, it's evocative of a store. You're evoking store value in a privacy circle.
Yeah, it is a store value. It's not a.
Yeah, and Bitcoin isn't a store value. It's not in the same circle as gold.
I mean, then you're just saying
your Venn diagram breaks if you put gold in there. If you put like a non-head in there, like it makes sense.
Well, what I did to fix it is I put Quai with Bitcoin and digital.
But there's no bifurcation of the circle of private and digital.
But it's because they're both not unit of accounts.
I mean, gold shouldn't be in the digital circle. That's all I'm saying. In the private circle, like it doesn't make sense.
I mean, private money.
I feel like cash should be in that circle, but you have it.
It is. It's in the part of the Venn diagram with yeah. No, like Alan, you just have to put a privacy indicator in that circle. Well, gold doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, so I'm putting Quai with Bitcoin, so it's clear.
Okay.
Why with Bitcoin? Oh, Quai, got it.
Oh, versus okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Versus
yeah, that makes sense. Versus sheet, yeah.
Makes sense. Nice. Heck yeah. Guys, when you see that tweet drop, let's rebroadcast that. That's a great Venn diagram. Definitely explains the current landscape, in my opinion. Rock on. All right. Well, let's see here. We still got some great questions to get to. Man, the community is really excited for staking their Quai. Smells like a bunch of bag holders who want to earn some more Quai. I'm with you guys. Let's see here. Next one from Nintron here. For the SOAP staking, that be through a contract? I think the answer is yes. And if so, what would be the locking, unlocking duration for Quai stakes? I think we said 30 days.
Yeah.
Easy enough. Yes, it will be in a smart contract and 30 days. Locking, unlocking duration.
Yeah, just to be clear, like we're focused on the protocol piece right now. Once we get like protocol into testnet, we have like the smart contract, but the specific mechanic design may like vary a little bit, but as of right now, that's like what it is. Just we haven't done like a full cycle on the mechanics, the economic mechanics with the staking contract.
Yeah. No, heard.
But that's what we're planning on, but like that could still change.
Yeah. Still being developed, folks. But definitely on the roadmap for SOAP. Rock and roll. All right. We're getting some tips here on that staking contract already. Love to see it, guys. Keep the feedback coming. We have a question about Litecoin.
What are the tips?
Oh, sorry. Let's see here. A Particle 1 is referencing a hex token, which did something similar to this. He says, or maybe instead of keeping it on same APY yield percentage and lowering it later, give less percentage at first and increase every month a bit. So the longer Quai is staked, maybe, that could incentivize people to keep it staked. Oh, okay, I see. So kind of like,
Yeah, having various durations. Yeah, no, that's also a good point.
Mhm.
Like I said, we haven't done like a full design cycle, but like his point is well received. We have considered that. We just, like I said, we haven't fully like fleshed out how to optimize those mechanics.
Right. I like that idea too.
Yeah.
I just dropped the next rev. I think we're good to tweet this.
There you go. Little black hat in the private circle. I dig it. I dig it. Gosh. One of these days I'll go back and read the Frack magazine. Nice. Yeah, Alan, ping me when that tweet's out. I'll get it pinned up in this space. But I love it. Love it. Man, I love all the memes that are coming out lately. Both from the team, Alan, Christopher, they're killing it, and the community's killing it as well. Shout out to Quiet Squad, Swim Good, all the ambassadors. This is exactly what we need, guys. The time is now. Alt season is either here or right around the corner. We're hitting the pavement hard. Love to see all you guys joining in with us. Keeps me going. Rock on. All right. Moving on here in the questions. Where did it go? I'm sorry. There was a question about Litecoin and Doge and OxPow and the headers. I think Keyshore just deleted it. Did you just delete it, Keyshore? No, I'm not scrolling back far enough. Here it is. Okay. For Litecoin, Doge, merge mining inside SOAP, are subsidy blocks validated independently per chain, or does OxPow handle both with a single header?
Yeah, so OxPow actually has this, which is the OxPow commitment is a Merkle root. So if you want to have multiple chains, you just Merkleize them and then provide the path with the proof. So Doge with Quai, you basically need to provide like the Doge commitment in the aux template for the LTC plot. And then in GoQuai, you create a Merkle root of the Quai commitment with the Doge commitment, and then put the root in the Coinbase script sig. So the chain itself doesn't see anything but an extra field from the Doge commitment in the Litecoin August template.
There you go. Rock and roll. All right, we got another question here from Digital Mystic, brought to us by Keyshore. Oh man, I don't see him hanging out with us here in the audience, but before I ask this question, I'm just gonna say, guys, like, we definitely need to make a visual. I'll probably take that action item. I think people are kind of overthinking this a little bit, but I definitely need to be able to answer this. So here it goes. So SOAP is a foundation ran mining pool solely used to take hash power from participating miners, use that hash power to mine other blockchain coins, dump those coins at market price to buy Quai, causing buy pressure, thus giving the miners the option to mine Quai or mine other blockchains and add buy pressure to Quai while also getting mining rewards from other chains. I think everything was correct except for that last statement there. So if you are a miner...
No. So there's like some incorrectness here, or at least some subtlety that's not embodied. It's just actually merge mining. So
right.
Every like hash that gets paid out is just a hash that's now being used twice. It's being used for Quai, and it's being used for the subsidy chain. And it's creating better security in Quai. And we're paying for that security. But instead of making it so you're just paying the miner, both the Bitcoin and Quai, you're forcing the Bitcoin Cash and Quai, you're forcing that Bitcoin Cash to go to market to go back into Quai.
Right.
That's it. So there is potentially like longer term a mechanism that we can allow to do this in a way that doesn't involve a foundation, but it would require having some kind of like these liquid second price auctions for the second token on the chain during mining.
Right.
Which like there's more complexity there for like marginal benefit. But the key point here is you're merge mining and then you're forcing all of the value to flow back into Quai. That's like the point.
Right. Well, and you're
literally the point.
And you're earning Quai for doing so.
Yeah, you're earning Quai for doing so. So from a miner's perspective of like, you could choose not to mine SOAP, but you're going to get rewarded way less. Because SOAP is valuable to the chain. So we're going to pay more for it, relatively speaking. Right? But economically, that means everyone's going to mine SOAP, and that the balance of the Quai value and the subsidy value will be equivalent. Which then means mining becomes a net zero selling activity. Because you're forcing the second chain to go put its value back into Quai. That's it. Like, that's the whole point of SOAP, is force the second chain to put its value back into Quai, while still maintaining proof of work security in Quai.
Boom, boom.
Right? So if you did merge mining and you just gave both tokens out, you might have like a Bitcoin Cash miner who's like, oh, look, I can get Quai for free for my Bitcoin Cash mining. And they'll just sell the Quai. Right? Conversely, you could get a Quai miner that's like, I'm going to keep the Quai and sell the Bitcoin Cash and then go buy, a Ferrari.
Right.
And what we're saying is the ideal way to do this in protocol, because we're allowing it to happen, is that you got to sell that Bitcoin Cash and buy Quai with it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like, that's the best outcome for Quai.
Yeah, we've been talking about this a lot So I mean, to me, it's relatively simple. But I can see the visual now where it just like makes more sense. Especially for folks who are familiar with merge mining, right? It's merge mining. If you have a script miner or, a SHA miner, you can now mine to the Quai Foundation pool and earn Quai. And your hashes are also contributing to other chains. Those rewards are used to buy quiet market.
Yeah, that's right.
Boom.
The other thing that happens here too is this allows the hash rate of Quai to go up, improving the security of the chain. It also allows the hash rate to be diversified across multiple algos, also increasing the security of the chain. So this is all net positive from a security standpoint, from a decentralization standpoint, and from an economic standpoint.
Yep. Worst case scenario, net neutral. 90% of the time, net positive.
No, it's actually never net neutral, by the way.
Oh.
Because transaction fees are actually imbalancing it.
Okay.
So if you look, like even today, we do something like, $400 a day in transaction fees.
Right.
Those $400 a day are offsetting neutrality. So the transaction fees are always like revenue that is in addition to the zero.
That makes sense.
So you like even without, the miners not selling their Quai, the transaction fees always bias this into a positive regime.
Right. Okay. So always net positive then.
And as the transaction throughput goes up, those fees go up.
Right. Bingo.
Right. So like ideally, like what you should be able to do is you should be able to say like have $10 million a day in hash and $10 million a day in fee. So you're actually net positive 100% on your hash.
There you go.
Like you could exceed it, right? There's no reason like I couldn't have 20 million a day in transaction fees. Right. So you could actually have like net positive 200% of your hash. But I think there's like an economic balance where if you were like 200% of your hash net positive, your hash rate would like tend to rise.
Yep.
But it definitely creates a positive coefficient. So
Okay.
like the TPS coupled with this, like makes it always positive. And the more TPS you get, like the better off you are.
There you go, guys. I absolutely love it. Really looking forward to you finishing the work and continuing to have these conversations, spread the message. The chat is super bullish on this as well. We're a little over time here, but I got one more question I want to ask if you got time, Dr. K, and then just a comment. I'll start with a comment first. AIOB states he can hold many altcoins across different chains. How about if I could hold them on Quai Network instead? My man, Wormhole, right around the corner. Probably the largest bridge in this industry. We announced that partnership a couple weeks ago. So expect to see that go live real soon. Keep your eyes peeled for that. But that's the unlock that'll get you what you're looking for there. We're all super excited about that one as well. But good call out. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And that would be ideal for sure. Rock and roll. Okay. Last question I wanted to ask was something about BIP34. Did it disappear on me? Looks like it disappeared on me. Where did it go? Do you know anything about BIP34, Dr. K?
I thought 34 was HD wallets, but
Yeah. Okay.
the 30s and the 40s are heavily used, so I get them confused often.
Sure. I'll do.
There's 32, 34, 39, 44, right? Like.
Let me Google it real quick.
You'll have to tell me the title.
Let me Google it real quick. Let's see here. Title is Block V2 height in Coinbase.
Yeah, okay. So BIP34 basically says that they didn't have the block height as a header field. Like, honestly, like, that was a dumb one to parachute, sorry. So basically, like, what happens is you have this scriptsig field in your Coinbase that's unused because it comes from nowhere. So they overload it as, like, an extended header. And so BIP34 basically says the first, I think, like 4 bytes are the block number. And then the BIP that defines augs_fal, which I don't remember the number, basically says you have a 6-byte indicator after the block hash. And then you have a Merkle root for your augs_fal commitment after that in the scriptsig. So the scriptsig can be up to 100 bytes. And yeah, we're just kind of following that definition as to implement this. We're implementing it all the Bitcoin fork chains effectively.
Okay.
So
that makes a lot more sense now. I'll just ask the question then. Does requiring SOAP immediately after the BIP34 height push create any compatibility issues with existing pool software?
No. See, that's the point, is it's perfectly compatible with augs_fal.
Got it. Okay. All right. So BIP34 effectively makes Bitcoin compatible with augs_fal.
Yeah. So there's another bit. I should know the number, but I don't. But it defines augs_fal.
Okay. Okay.
So
well,
then the other pieces is you have like scriptsig, and then you also have your extra nonces. So basically, Satoshi didn't like put enough bytes in the header nonce. It's only 4 bytes. So even on like a per second basis, miners run out of bytes to use. So they created these extra nonces again in the Coinbase. There's an extra nonce 1 and an extra nonce 2. Extra nonce 1 is set by the pool, basically as like a to make sure like each worker is working a different part of the space. And then the worker will nonce the header nonce as well as the extra nonce 2. So they do the extra nonce 2 kind of on an outer loop, and then they do the header nonce on an inner loop. And every time they compute extra nonce 2, they actually have to recompute the Merkle root, which is an extra hashing. So all of this is concordant with existing systems because all the systems we are using support augs_fal.
There you go. Dang, I needed more Zen for that one. That's for sure. But I think I followed it. Great question though, guys. Love to see people diving super deep on this. Definitely some folks following along in the GitHub commits. We're a little over time now, so I think that's probably all we got for today. Alan, I just attempted to pin your tweet here in the X space. Guys, go check out that Venn diagram. I absolutely love it. It's a great way to wrap your head around the current ecosystem and what's available to you and how Chi kind of solves for everything. And if you're not aware of Chi, you're still early here at Quai Network. Definitely give the account a follow. We got myself and Christopher up here on stage, Dr. K, Veronica, Pavel. We got some OGs in the audience. Give everybody a follow. You'll be able to earn some Quai on X directly using Kipper.money. And then hang out with us next week in Discord. Join the Quai Nation and ask your questions and have some fun in the chat. The chat's always a blast. You guys are so fun to hang out with, and you ask some amazing questions. So I definitely learned something today. I had a good time. I hope you guys did as well.
I like Gabriel's questions.
Yeah.
And I like my response. No, specifically to the hash.
Right?
Right? That's like the right way to think about it, is we are using underutilized hash.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Quai Network marked safe from useless proof of work. Oh man. All right. Let's see here. Any final thoughts, Alan, Dr. K, before we wrap it up?
No, just grinding hard here. Gonna get soap out and about as quick as we can. We already have a couple of the pools aware and ready to go on the implementation. So once we get this in testnet, they'll be updating add compile pools. So super exciting.
And so that's kind of like a call out to all the current Quai miners right now, right? Get prepared for the migration into Kapao and start participating in SOAP.
The preparation for them should really be they just have to restart their miner.
Right.
Once it goes live, and they'll have to go from a ProgPow pool to a Kapao pool. But the rewards for Kapao are going to be more than the rewards for ProgPow. So
right. No,
every day you don't do it, like you're missing out.
I don't want them to miss out on that. Definitely. Okay. Yep. Appreciate that, Dr. K.
All they gotta do is like change the endpoint.
Right.
From like the ProgPow pool to the Kapao pool and restart the miner, and that should just work.
Boom, boom. Nice. Yeah, Ravencoin seems to be locked down. Sounds like Doge and Litecoin are as well. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. It's coming soon. It's coming quick. What about you, Alan? Any final thoughts for our audience today before I wrap it up?
No, I'm just working on this Venn diagram here. Added some subtitles to each of these so it's clear on what's where if it's used and repurposed. So drop that in general chat again. We'll drop it in the community stage here again.
Heck yeah. Oh man, I thought I pinned your tweet. Maybe I need to go refind it. Well,
we're utilizing underutilized work.
Definitely.
Love it.
No useless proof of work on Quai Network. No matter what algorithm you got, we're gonna maximize its usage and pay handsomely for it. So check it out, guys. Love it. Rock and roll. Well, I think that does it for today. You guys rock and roll. Really appreciate the community. Shout out to some of the folks coming in last minute with questions here. We got some D pool operators. You guys are like stellar. Like, man, if you're running a D pool, you're deep in Quai Network. Many appreciations to you. Keep your eyes peeled for updates to that. The team hasn't forgotten you. And I know Alpha Mind's hanging out with us. He's also working on one as well. So shout out to Alpha Mind. If you guys are looking to learn more, definitely give the Quai Network account a follow. Check out docs.qu.ai if you're looking to get started mining on Quai Network. If you're trying to earn a bag, check out Kipper Money. It's a great way to earn Quai. You get, I think it's 20 Quai just for signing up, and then engaging with us here on X. You'll earn quite a bit of Quai pretty quick. The community loves tipping Quai here on X, so definitely check that out. If you need more, we are actively traded on Mexi, Gate.io, and LBank. You can swap on Let's Exchange, and like I said earlier, we should be bridging across Wormhole real soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And we are on the Kraken roadmap, so for those of you waiting for that, don't wait too long. It's coming soon, guys. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Let's see here. What else? We got so much going on. Tangent hardware wallets just got sent out. We just partnered with Zebek. You can go get a Zebek debit card and spend your Quai today. Go check that out. I got a task to buy some cool stuff using Quai. But keep your eyes peeled for more content on SOAP, guys. We should have a good Quai Friday lined up for you as well. So stay tuned for that. And come back next week once you got your bag and you've hopped into the Discord and joined the Quai Nation. And reach out to the team if you have any feedback on anything, all the above. We love to hear it. We're here building for you, trying to create the world's first decentralized energy dollar. So we see you guys all next week. Thanks, team. Really appreciate it. All right. Peace out, guys.